I call this meeting of the Northeast Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. This board will now adjourn into executive session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, private consultation with the board's attorney. 551.072, discussing purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. 551.074, to discuss personnel or to hear complaints against personnel. The time is 5:31. I call this meeting of the Northeast Independent School District to order. The time is 6:20. On behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome you to this evening's meeting of the Northeast Independent School District. This is a business meeting of the board held in public. We appreciate your attendance and request your respectful attention. We welcome your comments during the Matters from the Floor section of the agenda. If you signed up to address a specific agenda item, you will be called at that time. Finally, I'd like to remind you that it is the mission of Northeast to challenge and encourage each student to achieve and demonstrate academic excellence, technical skills, and responsible citizenship. Next item is invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. The Academy of Creative Education, Dr. Patrick Valdez.
Good evening, Madam President, board members, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. Thank you for inviting the Academy of Creative Education to lead the invocation and pledges. Joining us today and representing ACE's student body is Paola Flores Lopez. She'll be leading us in both the invocation and pledge. Her classmate had car trouble on the way. Paola is accompanied by her father, Mario Flores, her sister Jimena and cousin Ileana, nieces Evelyn and Jilliana. Paola's future plans are to attend Lakeview Junior College for her basic studies and then transfer to Lamar College in Beaumont, Texas, where she will major in early education for special needs students.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please bow your head. One nation, under God, indivisible. Let us take those words to heart and learn to live by them, for they are more than just words. They are a belief that has shaped the course of our nation and the course of our lives. For we are one nation, we are united in our belief to improve the quality of life. Education makes it possible to be the best of which we are capable. We are under God, for we know that with the help of the Almighty, we will continue to grow as people with the common goal of becoming citizens that will nourish and support each other. We are indivisible, working together to become a force for peace and freedom. This evening, we ask God's blessing on this board's meeting. We ask that our efforts here today bind us together as Americans, as one people, now and forever.
Thank you so much. Mr. Week, would you mind presenting that certificate? We have a certificate for you. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. And for taking on both jobs. PJ, could you come join him, please? Y'all are more than welcome to stay and enjoy our wonderful meeting, but you're also more than welcome to slip out too whenever you're ready. See you at graduation next week, huh? On Thursday, this Thursday, that's right, yeah. Next item, 6, matters from executive session. A, personnel including but not limited to administrative appointments pursuant to Government Code Section 551.074. 1, possible action regarding routine personnel including but not limited to administrative appointments, and we have no action. 2, possible action regarding proposed recommendation for termination of Chapter 21 term contract employee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Jaso, second by Ms. Wolff. All those in favor?
Aye.
There can be no discussion. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mrs. Scott.
Introduction.
Dr. Gottardy, you have introductions this evening.
I do. Thank you very much, Madam President. Board members, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor and privilege this evening to introduce a brand-new principal of Regency Place Elementary School, Estelia Wallace. Estelia, would you please stand? Thank you. Estelia joined the Northeast family in 2006. Prior to being named the principal of Regency Place Elementary School, she was an assistant principal at Nimitz Middle School. Ms. Wallace received a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies in 1997 from Southwest Texas State University, and she earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2003 from the University of North Texas. Ms. Wallace has 19 years in education. Estelia, congratulations. Estelia is accompanied here tonight by her husband Rusty and their son. Thank y'all for being here. We also have with us this evening a brand new Executive Director of Transportation, Mr. Jack DeForest. Jack? Jack joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named the Executive Director of Transportation, he was the Director of Transportation. Mr. DeForest received a bachelor's degree in occupational education in 2007 from Wayland Baptist University and earned a master's degree in public administration in 2013 from Norwich University. Mr. DeForest has 8 years of experience. Jack, congratulations, and I see that you have Mrs. DeForest and your daughter with us this evening. Thank you so much for being here. Granddaughter. Congratulations. And that concludes our introductions. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Can I introduce mine? Should I introduce mine?
Sure.
I'm going to take a moment of personal privilege and introduce my special guest this evening, my 16-year-old grandson, almost 16, Sunday, Gabriel. Stand up, say hey. He is a rising junior at Sci-Fair in Houston, and next to him are 2 of his cousins and 2 of my younger grandsons. Y'all can stand up. That's James Nettles and Jack Nettles. James is going to be in 2nd grade at Travis Elementary in Houston School District, and Jack is just Jack. He's 4. Thanks, guys. And long-suffering and very patient Papa, my husband Keith. I'm not going to say he's babysitting, but he's being Papa tonight. Okay, next item, B, possible action on the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property pursuant to Government Code Section 551.072. We have no action. C, possible action regarding consultation with board's attorney pursuant to Government Code Section 551.071. 1, pending and possible litigation. Again, no action. 7, recognitions. A, Reagan High School Boys Varsity Basketball Team. Dr. Newman. Baseball. I'm so sorry. Yep. I'm a little rusty at this whole president's thing. It's been a few years.
Thank you, Mrs.
Dr.
Hughey. Members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. At this time, I'd like to ask Brenda Shelton, the principal of Reagan High School, and Karen Funk, our executive director of athletics, to approach the podium to address this item.
We had a full house tonight. Madam President, Dr. Gottardy, members of the board, distinguished guests. It's been a great year in baseball in Northeast. You just got to look at it and shake your head and say, oh yeah. 3 out of our 4 teams made it far in the playoffs. Johnson was lost in the regional qualifiers to Reagan. Churchill lost in the regional finals to Reagan. Northeast Independent School District has taken, has talented kids, smart kids, and has put us on the map. I mean, we're on the map for a few other things, but baseball fans, baseball parents, and people who want to be in the know now know where the Star is in San Antonio, and that it sits just a little bit east of the city limits. It's been a super year. I have something else to say, but I have no idea what it is. So we weren't quite ready for you to be that fast with the Pledge of Allegiance and all of that. Reagan Rattler baseball this year finished the year on June 10th. It's a year that every baseball coach in the state of Texas wants to finish at. You know, for the longest time, football coaches would talk about playing in the month of December. Baseball coaches talk about playing in the month of June. Being number 2 in the state of Texas, it ain't a bad year. It's a really good year. You know, our hearts hurt that we weren't the champion, but we came home with a huge trophy, and we are number 2. And there are a lot of other people just sitting at home, watching it on TV. Coach Chapman, I do want to talk about for just a minute. Coach Chapman, is he in here yet? Oh, there you are. Step forward. Coach Chapman is our head baseball coach and the father of 2 very cute girls, Jaso, who is 11, and Reese, who is 8. So I'm going to get them in first in case he forgets them. Jennifer Chapman is his wife, and she teaches at Tuscany Heights, and his girls go to school there as well. And one of them will be at Bush next year. So it's a full house for him. His days are different when he goes to school because he only talks to boys. So, you know, it makes for a great life. Since Coach Chapman has taken over the baseball team in 2004, Reagan has won 7 district titles, made 3 regional trips, and 2 state appearances, and both times and this year finished up as the state runner-up. Coach Chapman's record over the past several years is 390 and 94. That is an impressive record. Congratulations. I'll tell you that this Rattler team is going to lose 9 seniors, but there's a ton of them who are excited to take their place and ready to do it all over again. And that's what makes it fun. What an incredible group of young men whose motto, and make sure I get this right, #Fight98. Yeah, and of course, I don't get to baseball till late because we're doing soccer, then we're doing track, and then softball playoffs, and by the time I get there, I look like the last person on the bandwagon. So finally I turned around and said, what is #Fight98? And those of you who are smarter than I am immediately looked at me and said, because it's 98 miles to Round Rock. And they met their goal. #Fight98. We're so super proud of their year, super proud of them, and what incredible people they are, all the way down to their student trainers, their statistician, and I'm going to turn this moment over to Brenda Shelton, their incredible principal.
Members of the board and Dr. Gottardy and executive staff, if I can just take one moment. Gentlemen, I don't know if you can hear me, but each of you have won my heart. KB, you gave me a run for my money, but I want you to know you taught me how to a lot about being a principal, and I appreciate you. And I want to tell you this honestly and really. KB, it was my privilege, honestly, from my heart, to write your recommendation letter for college, and I mean that. You guys fight hard, you work hard. Coach, I can't take the credit for hiring you. Our esteemed colleague over there can, Mr. Boyd. But what I do want to tell you, Coach, is this. I was standing in the back, as I often do, and the people from UIL walked up to me, unsolicited, and said, Mrs. Shelton, you're the principal of Reagan High School. And I said, yes, I am. And they said to me, I want you to know, you have the most fabulous man you could ever have coaching your team. He's right for kids, he's right for education, and he cares very much. And I see that every day. So to all of my coaches, thank you. And now it's time for the real reason. Parents, I want to thank you for being here. It's been fun to lead 2 bits, and I would do it here, but I might get in trouble, so I won't. But with that being said, Coach, I know that you want to introduce your kids and your coaches, and I would like to give you that privilege and honor. Thank you, and thank you for being you. We appreciate you.
Just like to thank Dr. Gottardy and the executive staff for having us. I mean, this is a fantastic deal for these guys to be able to be recognized for their accomplishments this year. I mean, I was just along for the ride. It was, you know, these guys got it done on the field, and, you know, they're good baseball players, but they're also good people, and that's what's going to get them a long way in life. We do have a few guys that were not able to be here tonight. A couple of them had already, you know, commitments as far as moving up to college and things like that. And I'm trying to announce them first. Cade Bourmet, he had a prior engagement. Also Robert Ferris, that were both seniors. Like I said, they had prior engagements. They actually put it off until this Monday. They were supposed to leave a couple weeks ago, but, you know, we had a pretty good reason for them to stick around. So we'll get started. Shortstop, Ramon Garza. Our catcher, Mac Papini. Designated hitter and caretaker of probably the biggest thing we had on our team, the Rams head, Kyle Brookover. Grant Ellis was another that had a prior engagement for college, so he wasn't able to make it tonight either. Pitcher, Jake Hoggett. Pitcher, Jeff Bitzer. Pitcher, Andrew Magnus. Third baseman, Hilton Brown. Outfielder, Porter Brown. Outfielder and pitcher, Seth Morrow. Infielder, Mason Moore. Pitcher, Josh Buskey. Pitcher, Cal Carver. Second baseman, Josh Colleen. Pitcher, John Fraga. First baseman, Andrew Post. Second baseman, Dalton Brieger. First baseman, Cal Martin. Pitcher and shortstop, Travis Staley. Third baseman, Michael Merritt. Catcher, Luke Hoggett. Catcher, Alex Lokias. Catcher, Alec Cavan. Shortstop, Cage Cheney. Outfielder Zane Raba. Infielder JT Miller. Outfielder Jared Shearer. First baseman Dawson Smith. Outfielder Carter Campbell. Outfielder Justin Keeper. And then there were two others that I forgot to mention. Kel Wagner's a freshman. He is at a church camp, and then Sam Canis is a sophomore outfielder that is actually sick today and wasn't able to make it. Our student trainers, Mariah Rodriguez wasn't able to make it, but Gabby Rendon. And our statistician, Christina Omas. My two assistants, Ryan Byer and Victor Escamilla. Hey. Can I do something before we take a picture? And I know we're going to take a picture, but before we do, we have a token of our appreciation that we would like to pass out. I mean, you know, obviously this was Reagan High School that went, but without the community support that we have, you know, the support from our athletic department, and then the support that we get from Dr. Gottardy and his executive staff, I mean, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. I mean, you know, we're fortunate because we're allowed to do things, and, you know, as far as, you know, whatever it may be, to be able to have this type of success and go from there, and I'd be very remiss if you know, we didn't show our appreciation. So what we have is these are the medals that the kids receive. We'd like to present one to Dr. Gottardy. Karen Funk. Mr. Bill Boyd. And Dr. Newman. Miss Shelton got hers earlier today, but just so people don't think that Manny didn't even give his principal one, but she got hers earlier today. But again, like I said, without the support of the whole district, I mean, you know, it was Reagan that made it, but this was great for Northeast Independent School District. It brought them a lot of publicity, and you know, these guys represented them well and did a great job. And again, thank you for all your support.
Get in the baseball picture position. Y'all know what it is. You know, Dr. G was like texting the whole board play by play. You know that, right? Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, Court.
You guys have a good summer.
My oldest friends, and Campbell, Carter, but her two girls, twin graduated years ago. We had to do the yeah. I'm sure you.
Thank you, Rattlers. Thank you, moms and dads, for being here. We appreciate all that y'all have done to bring us this incredible team. Next item is B, HEB Excellence in Education Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. Gottardy.
Thank you, Madam President, board members, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly my honor this evening to introduce and to recognize this next individual, Mr. Michael Bailey, history teacher at Bradley Middle School. Mr. Bailey joined the Northeast ISD family in 1993. He's been a history teacher at Bradley since 1993. He received a bachelor's degree in occupational education in 1981 from Southwest Texas State University. That's two we've introduced tonight from Southwest Texas State University. Mr. Bailey has 23 years in education. He is a Texas history teaching superstar. Northeast ISD and Bradley Middle School is home to a winner of the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. On Sunday, May the 7th, HEB announced statewide winners of the 16th Annual HEB Excellence in Education Awards during a ceremony at the Hilton Hotel in Austin. During the ceremony, HEB Chairman and CEO Charles Butt personally handed out $430,000 in cash awards and grants and congratulated 8 educators, 2 school districts, 1 early childhood agency, and a public school board for being among the best in Texas. And folks, there's 1,100 school districts in the state. Michael Bailey, history teacher at Bradley, won the Lifetime Achievement Award for the secondary category, receiving $25,000 in cash for himself and $25,000 grant for his school. With more than 20 years of teaching experience, Mr. Bailey is known for his Texas history teaching methods and philosophy, and above all, the truly unique Mill Springs Cabin, a museum, general store, and one-of-a-kind learning center. If you have the privilege or the honor this morning, and if you haven't, you need to go back and read today's paper, because in today's paper, the front page shows Michael Bailey and his accomplishment at Bradley Middle School over the last 20-something years. The fact that he won the Lifetime Achievement Award. I love the article, Michael. The fact that you went to the hilt to go buy that portable in Fredericksburg, Texas in 1998 for $7,000. Boy, I wish we could get portables for $7,000 today.
It was used.
And then you had all kind of fundraisers to pay for that $7,000. And I loved all the different kinds of dances that you held to get that $7,000. I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been to the Mill Springs Cabin at Bradley Middle School, you're missing it. You need to go take a tour. The Mill Springs Cabin is a tourist destination for tens of thousands. In fact, the article today said probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 70,000 students since Mr. Bailey took over that Mill Springs Cabin and that whole project. elementary students, middle school students, and high school students have visited Bradley Middle School to see the Mill Springs cabin in operation. And those of us who've been there several times, we know what a great treasure it is for Bradley Middle School and for Northeast ISD, and it's all because of you, Mr. Bailey. And we're here tonight to say thank you and to recognize you for your efforts. Will you please come forward? There's a certain honor that comes with the superintendency of Northeast ISD, and I've only done this a couple of times in the last 7 years, but I'm presenting Mr. Bailey with the Northeast ISD coin, because I'm coining Mr. Bailey for his efforts that he has given to tens of thousands of students. In fact, I love the article this morning that spoke about that you're going to take that $25,000 and put it in your retirement fund. So in 15 or 20 years from now, when he retires from Northeast School, he's going to be in great hands.
You're as good at math as I am.
10 or 15 years now. Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Mr. Michael Bailey. Come on, our principal,
Can we,
Todd Bloomer.
Mike's wife is here, do you mind if she came up? Yes, absolutely. And maybe Mr. Boyd, because he was the one.
Yeah.
Mr. Boyd, come join us. Come on.
Yeah.
Was he the principal in 1998?
He hired me to. It's his fault. Hey, thank you so much.
And I know we're not going to have any over 10 or 15 more years. But if we can have him for 1 or 2 more. Fantastic. Have a great summer.
What's that? No, it shouldn't be anything. Very short stuff. Very short stuff.
I want to tell y'all too something about Mr. Bailey that night at the HEB Awards. Everyone who gets the award they give him kind of an open mic. He gave the absolute best speech that night of anyone who was there. He had that whole crowd going. It was just great. So he not only brought us great honor these last 20 years, but that night too. So great night for Northeast.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, 8, presentations. A, Administrative Training Program interns for 2017-2018. Dr. Newman.
Thank you, Mrs. Hughey. Members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Joe Reasons, our Executive Director of School Administration, to address the intern item.
Thank you, Dr. Newman. A few weeks ago, I appeared before the Board of Trustees seeking your approval for the administrative interns selected to participate in our program for the coming year. On behalf of the 4 executive directors of school administration, it gives me great pleasure to formally present to you our administrative interns for the 2017-2018 school year. 4th grade teacher at Las Lomas Elementary, Michelle Alexander. 3rd grade teacher at Roan Forest Elementary, Juanita Blackburn. Instructional intervention teacher at El Dorado Elementary, Amy Davis. 6th grade math teacher at Bradley Middle School, Charles Ellerick. 5th grade teacher at Stone Oak Elementary, Kelly Fox. Fifth grade co-teach teacher and ESL teacher, Deborah Gentry from Stubing Ranch Elementary. Math instructional coach at Cerna Elementary, Dawn Habather. Reading teacher from Bush Middle School, Jody Harris. U.S. history teacher from Johnson High School, Jennifer Jones. Third grade special education teacher from Clear Spring Elementary, Amber Leone. Government and economics teacher from Roosevelt High School, Mateo Macias. Thomas Martinez from Thousand Oaks Elementary could not be here with us this evening, but he is a second grade teacher. First grade teacher from Roan Forest Elementary, Melissa Medina Haudegi. Bilingual instructional coach from Roan Forest Elementary, April Musquiz. Art teacher from Reagan High School, Sarah Pagona. Special education campus coordinator from Tejeda Middle School, Lori Persine. Special education campus coordinator at Tex Hill Middle School, Jenna Ross. Manufacturing technology teacher from Bush Middle School, David Rubalcaba. Mr. Lane Smiley is a biological science teacher at STEM Academy, but he was unable to be here this evening. Bilingual instructional coach from Stone Oak Elementary, Valeria Steinbarth. And special education campus coordinator from Bush Middle School, Jennifer Tiller. These are our interns for the coming school year and some future outstanding administrators.
Thank you so much to all of you, and good luck, and we look forward to seeing you up here again as a principal or assistant principal. All kinds of good things. Next item is 9, board business. A, possible action regarding 2017 advocacy resolution, and that's me. All right. To my fellow board members, as you know, TASB invites us to submit new advocacy resolutions every 2 years, and it's that time. I know all of you have been so involved and know a lot about what we do for advocacy, and it's one of the great things that TASB does, and it does it so well. There's different facets of advocacy for us. We have our cornerstone principles, which are the things that we just basically don't change every year. And we have our advocacy priorities. Those are the things that direct our TASB GR staff on the things that we feel are strong, and those come out of our grassroots meetings that we hold every biennium. And lastly, but definitely not least, are the resolutions, and those are come directly from us, our school boards, that are taken to the TASB GR staff. And they vary all across the state for things that are important to various boards around Texas. We've proposed some in the past, and one of ours has carried through for the last couple of times, and we are going to submit that one again with your approval. That we support background checks for school board candidates to confirm candidate qualifications and to support the disqualification standard of a candidate who's been convicted of a felony. And as you know, that's been an issue that's hit home for us. So, and as I've talked to fellow board members around the state, they've also faced some issues, and they feel this was a very good resolution to bring forward, so they were been very grateful for it. And then we've added one this year, thank you to our staff, that we support an interim study on school finance to include analyzing the effectiveness of current weights and allotments, as well as identifying reliable and sustainable revenue sources beyond annual property value growth. If the legislature could do this, it would be a big step forward. I don't anticipate it happening, but they need to know that we do support it, I think. So, do we have discussion on this? Do you have any thoughts or other resolutions that you would like to add on or for staff to look at? We have until July the 3rd to present these to TASB. Any thoughts? You're not thoughtless.
We trust you.
This is staff, and we, thank goodness for them. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, no surprise. Thank you, Deb Caldwell, one of the greatest GR people in this state, and don't tell the other districts that. I'm always worried about that. So if we're okay with that, we need a motion to approve the proposed advocacy resolutions that must be emailed, faxed, or mailed to TASB, the Resolutions Committee, by July the 3rd.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wheat. Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And thank you to Deb Caldwell, and thank you to Marie for keeping us on track and keeping us focused. Really helps a lot. Because I'm having trouble being secretary and president tonight.
Good job. You're doing good.
Rusty at that president thing.
No problem. She's no problem.
It's been a few years. Look at her. Okay, next item is 10, new business for possible board action. A, campus administration. 1, possible action regarding leave for advanced academic preparation, and that's Dr. Newman again.
Thank you, Mrs. Hughey, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. I'd like to ask Joel Trevino, our executive director for human resources, to address this agenda item.
Good evening, Madam Secretary, Superintendent, board members, executive staff, and guests. Board policy allows for the request of a academic preparation leave for employees that meet certain requirements, that the employee has been employed with the district at least 2 years, and it goes to a higher academic institution. This person does meet the requirements, and for this type of leave, we require the approval of the Board of Trustees. So at this point, I certify that this person meets the requirements for this type of leave.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Trevino? We don't have very many of these, do we, where they take off a whole year?
That is correct. The last one we had was probably about 3-4 years ago.
That's what I thought.
And it's for a full year.
And their job is secure for that time, and when they come back?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
I wish
Okay.
I could do that.
Any other questions, discussion? Do I have a motion to approve the employee for a 1-year unpaid leave of absence for advanced academic preparation?
So move.
Thank you, Ms. Wolff. A second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Jaso. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Trevino. 2, possible action regarding memorandum of understanding for the Bexar County Juvenile Justice Academy. Dr. Newman, here you go again.
Thank you, Mrs. Hughey, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. I'd like to ask Ann McNabb, our executive director of student support services, to address this item.
Good evening to everybody, and thank you in advance for your time. Every year we have to enter a new memorandum of understanding by education codes with our Bexar County Juvenile Justice Academy, and this is what I have before you and ask for your approval. There is no change other than a new school year and one change in their staff that changed an amendment name. Other than that, the other good news is there's no increase in the cost either, so
Thank you.
it's an easy year for the MOU.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have questions for Ms. McNabb? All right, do I have a motion to approve the 2017-2018 memorandum of understanding between the Bexar County Juvenile Board and Northeast ISD as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Weed. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Manette.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Newman. 3, possible action regarding Wall of Heroes enshrinement. Dr. Newman.
Yay.
Thank you again, Mrs. Hughey, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. On Thursday, May 11th, a meeting was held at Central Office to review nominations for possible enshrinement at the Wall of Heroes at NEISD's Heroes Stadium per board policy CW Local. I was a voting member of that committee, and it was determined that Mr. Jake Cherry's name would be submitted to NEISD's Board of Trustees for your approval for enshrinement at the stadium. Deb Caldwell, Director of Government Relations and Grant Development, and Aubrey Chancellor, Executive Director of Communications, facilitated this meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask Deb Caldwell to briefly address the process that was used, and we can also answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Dr. Newman, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. As Dr. Newman mentioned, we convened a selection committee of 9 members this past spring. That includes your representatives as trustees, as well as Dr. Newman as representative of executive staff. We also have a high school principal who is representative, and that is Steve Zimmerman. The committee is tasked to review the nominations that we receive every odd number year and go through a voting process to determine whether or not to bring forward to you a nomination. There is specific criteria in board policy, and we can define a hero in many ways, but our board policy does provide specific criteria for this process. Just to clarify what the criteria is for the audience, the person must have already reached 18 years of age at the time of the nomination, had graduated from a Northeast high school, or served as a Northeast community member for at least 15 years, demonstrated courage, service, and self-sacrifice in his or her life's work, bringing honor to their family and their community, made a positive impact in the lives of current and future generations through unselfish commitment to community or military service, and excelled academically or achieved a high level of postgraduate success. Very high bar for this award. The selection process includes 2 rounds of voting. The first round of voting, the members of the committee receive 2 votes to be used on 2 separate applicants. They can't use 2 votes on 1 person. The purpose of the first round is to determine whether or not we can reach unanimous decision on a candidate. Does someone rise to the top that all 9 members can definitely say this person moves on for nomination to the board? In this case, this past spring, we did not reach unanimous decision. So we have a second round of voting, which is also outlined in policy. In the second round, the members of the committee deliberate on the merits of the applications. They talk about it. They talk about the individuals and why they meet the criteria. Through the second round of voting, it was determined that 2 of the candidates that we received had the most votes of the group. And after further deliberation, we were able to, in the second round, bring forward to you a nominee who did receive 9 votes ultimately in that second round. Really, our board policy just requires a minimum of 7 votes to move forward to you, but the committee did reach conclusion that 1 candidate, Mr. Jake Cherry, was worthy of a nomination to you. The next steps of the process includes your action tonight, whether or not you approve the nomination. If you do approve the nomination, then we will proceed with developing the plaque, which includes a biography and a photo. We'll need to work on the bio for the plaque and planning a reception event during a home game at Hero Stadium. So those are the next steps for the fall. And we'll be happy to take any questions.
Any questions from anyone?
I just have a comment. My committee member that I nominated was very impressed with the process. So I
Okay.
just wanted to say thank you very much that the actual process, which you just outlined, was incredibly smooth and effective. So he was very happy that it went very well. So
Good.
thank you very much. Very efficient.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, so do we have a motion to approve the individual selected by the selection committee for enshrinement on the Wall of Heroes at Hero Stadium?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Jaso. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Weed? All those, is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much, Ms. Caldwell. We really appreciate all the work you've done on this, and the committee, too. They just did a great job. Thank you, Dr. Newman, again. All right, next item, B, operations. 1, possible action regarding 2015 bond program, Reagan High School Fine Arts and JROTC facility additions and renovations project schematic design approval. Not Dr. Newman, Mr. Clary.
Madam Secretary, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests, Mr. Sullivan is at the podium to make this presentation.
Hello, Mr. Sullivan. Welcome.
Good evening, Mrs. Hughey, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. It's my pleasure tonight, and I only have one presentation,
I'm so
to
disappointed.
present to you the schematic design presentation for the Reagan High School 2015 bond project. This will wrap up the portion of the bond program that deals with our fine arts facilities. We've already shown you the Johnson High School Band Hall addition, and we've shown you the Churchill High School Band, Orchestra, and Dance program, and this wraps up that part of our bond program, this presentation. This is the agenda we're going to follow, beginning top left to bottom right. And the project has two major components, a fine arts component and an ROTC component, both part of our extracurricular program. Our design team is led by Alamo Architects. This will be the third project they've done for the district since they joined our design program back in the 2011 bond program. And I'm seeing if I have a representative out there. Not seeing any. I'll move on. And they have a very capable group of engineers that are assisting them. All right, an aerial view of Reagan High School shows the view as if you were looking north. Sonterra Boulevard would be just off the bottom of the screen. You can see we've identified the existing fine arts facilities is on the left side of the campus near the band marching area. And the ROTC marching pad is located at the front of the campus and nestled in amongst those groves of trees. Those are going to be the two parts of the campus we're going to be focused our construction effort on. All right, with the fine arts program, the two components include a second band rehearsal hall and a second orchestra rehearsal hall with supporting office and storage areas. Additionally, there is a shared ensemble room that's located between the two program areas. Total square footage for the fine arts program is approximately 7,400 square feet. For the ROTC program, this follows the model we've already executed most recently at Churchill, Lee, and MacArthur as our three newest ROTC facilities. And this constructs a new ROTC facility at Reagan at a 12,700 square foot program area. So let's first look at the fine arts area, which is on the left-hand side of the campus. These are some ground level photos that show the view right outside the wall that is the back wall of the current band and orchestra program areas. Unfortunately, we're going to have to lose some of these trees in order to build the new program area, but trust me, on the 80-acre site, there's a lot of trees that exist currently. Schematically, this shows the two program areas, the Fine Arts Addition adjacent to the existing Fine Arts facility. You can see we only lose a couple parking spaces, about 5 parking spaces there in the lower right-hand corner of the band area. And one of the goals was, in working with the architect, was to locate the band and orchestra halls so that they were close to the other practice facilities so that there would be good connectivity as the orchestra director or the fine arts band directors are trying to manage multiple band or orchestras during a period of the day. So you can see band 1 and band 2 are connected through that passageway right here, which will be designed so that there's not sound transmission, and then orchestra 1 and orchestra 2 are connected right here between this passageway, and there's a connecting corridor so that the students can get into the other band and orchestra halls without interfering with their other classes that may be going on in a prior period in the main orchestra and band rehearsal halls. Schematically, these are some perspectives. The architect is using the same brick and mortar pattern that currently exists at the campus, which has a smeared joint, kind of an enlarged smeared joint with an alternating color of a kind of a mauve colored brick with a tan colored block. Each of the two rehearsal halls has an exterior door so the students can leave from there and either go out to the bus to go on a trip or go out to the practice area if it happens to be the band program. We have preserved the entrance, the rear entrance to the fine arts area. We preserved that connectivity point as well. Now, the ROTC program for the campus is currently located in this general area where my pointer is moving. It's in the main academic building, and currently what they have is a couple classrooms. They have a 6-lane rifle range and some support facilities. Our newest programs that we've been doing since the 2003 bond, and comes with a laundry room, comes with locker rooms for the cadets, and currently Reagan doesn't have any of that. That's one of the reasons why we're building a new facility, because it would be very difficult to add those on to the existing facility. So the campus intends to repurpose those spaces once the new ROTC facility is built and use those classrooms as general purpose classrooms. And the rifle range could be used as a large multi-purpose meeting room. So the marching pad, which is located near the front of the facility, is where we're going to site the new ROTC facility. And we are going to have to move some of these portables in order to make this work, which is not going to be a problem. We'll move them in the summer prior to the project. These are some ground level photos that show you the perspective of the area around the ROTC marching pad. And here you see the building essentially adjacent to the marching pad, and it kind of has a Y shape to it, an angled shape, so that we don't interfere with the parking lot. And here you can see the classroom areas, the cadre and cadet office and work areas, the rifle range is shown in the orange, the supply room, the work room, and then the locker rooms are on the far end of the building with an interior connecting corridor, an entrance towards the parking lot, and an entrance towards the school, main academic building, and an entrance directly out to the marching pad. And then these are some perspectives of the facility as it lays on the property. This is kind of looking to the northeast. This is a ground level view looking from the parking lot. And the ground level view looking towards the lobby from the main academic building, which is going to be the primary route the students will use during the day to go from their classes in the main academic building out to the ROTC facility. This overall project has a budget of $10.75 million, of which $8.75 million is set aside for construction. We've already met with the architect over several months in developing this plan, and we are in budget. We have no concerns with the construction budget at this time. Our schedule is to complete the design by the early winter of next year in February. Go through the bidding period and bring back to you a recommendation for contractor award at the May board meeting. Actually, it will be subcontractor award because we'll be using the CM risk process. And then the construction period runs from June of next year through October of 2019, 16 months. So our recommendation tonight is for seeking your approval of the schematic design plan, which has the new Fine Arts Edition, Band and Orchestra, the new ROTC Edition, with the various site improvements that will be required at a budget of $8.75 million. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any board members with questions? Mr. Wheat.
Yeah, it does look like the scheme sets up about the same way as the other JROTC facilities we've seen, right?
Yes, sir.
Very similar in the way where everything is located?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. That's it, thanks.
Okay.
Anyone else? Mr. Sullivan, on the tree removals, did we face penalties on those like we did in initial construction?
No, ma'am. We have a little under 6,000 tree credits.
Tree credits.
That were donated to the district back in the 2003 bond, and we continue to use those. City doesn't like them, but we continue to use them when necessary. We do plant a lot of trees in our projects, but we do use the tree credits periodically.
Okay.
So no penalties.
Okay, great. That's good to hear.
There's no heritage trees there either. These are relatively small diameter trees.
Yeah, but
in
it's
the
still
in the grand
trees.
scheme of things.
It's still trees.
Correct.
I know we do a great job, but it's still trees.
But they're little trees.
They're little trees, okay.
So you can kill your
Thank
own
you.
things.
All right, anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the schematic design presentation for the 2015 bond, Reagan High School Fine Arts and JROTC Facility Additions and Renovations Project, and authorize the full development of design and construction documents for this project?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hasso. Do I have a second? Mr. Wheat?
White.
Mr. White. Okay, couldn't see who that was. Thank you. Just heard it.
We look the same, too.
Yes. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Your presentations are always so thorough and complete. Thank you.
It is always my
And please note, there was only one tonight, everyone.
flyovers.
We got lucky. Did you time it? Thank you. Next item is C, consent. 1, board policy. A, revisions to EIC local policy. 2, business services. A, 2017-2018 cooperative purchasing contracts report. B, bid items. C, annual over $50,000 purchases. 3, operations. A, 2015 bond Northeast Sports Park Baseball Facility Improvements Project bid award approval. B, 2015 bond program Regency Place Elementary School Facility Addition and Renovations Construction Manager at Risk Project bid authorization approval. C, Lopez Middle School Central Energy Plant Chemical Water Treatment Services Contract bid award approval. D, professional services contracts, construction contracts, and related contract amendments supporting the 2015 bond and district M&O design and construction requirements. 4, minutes from April and May 2017. 5, end of consent. Are there any board members wishing an item to be pulled from consent? No? Do I have a motion to approve consent as presented? There can be no discussion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Wheat. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Hasso. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, 9, reports. A, financial statement, review of expenditures, and B, awarded bid report. These were provided for your review. 12, matters from the floor. We have no one signed up tonight. 13, superintendent's comments. Dr. Gottardy.
Thank you, Madam President, board members, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple highlights, I think, from the ending of this past school year. It's hard to believe, but we've already been out of school a week and a half, going on 2 weeks. Approximately 4,700 graduates walked the stage. I want to take this point of privilege and thank you for your time and your obligation to be at those graduations. I thought the graduations went as smoothly as they have ever gone before, at least as long as I've been going to graduations. I want to thank the high school principals, their teaching staff who came and helped us with the graduation, their administrators and counselors, because I thought graduations were done incredibly well this year, and thank you for your participation. Then the last thing I want to mention is that this coming Wednesday night is a very special night for the Northeast ISD, but we're gonna kick off our Tobin Center partnership with the Northeast Independent School District, something that we've been working on for quite some time. This Wednesday night down at the Tobin Center will be a special ceremony to kick off our partnership with Tobin. But to take it further, we've had over 2,500 teachers that have begun the process of their choice hours this year. We actually had 99 teachers who went through all 3 levels of the certification process through the Tobin Center's training. We will pin those 99 teachers at the Tobin Center on Wednesday night because they have gone through all 3 levels of the training, and it should be a very special night for Northeast School District for the Tobin Center. And wear your cool suits And I mean cool because it's going to be an outside ceremony. But it will be a very special ceremony and something that we've been looking forward to. And several members of our executive staff and other members of our cabinet have been working on this for quite some time. So thank you for giving me a few minutes to share my comments. Great ending to our 16-17 school year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gottardy. 14, discussion and possible action regarding board members' requests for items to be placed on a future agenda and/or requests for reports from the administration. Do I have any requests from the board? No? All right. Next item, believe it or not, 15, adjournment. We are adjourned at 7:24.